this forever. Wondering if it's gonna feel like this whenever she leaves her safe space. She leaves her safe space. Wondering if it is forever, or is there some place that will make her feel better? Make her feel better. Then that's where she'll go.
Alright, y'all, I am headed to the grocery store, something I really should have done yesterday, but by the time I was ready to go, it was dark outside, and I don't trust going anywhere really by myself at night here because things have gotten that bad. I'm in Maryland, by the way. Headed to the grocery store because starting this week, I am doing a 2-week challenge for myself. I'm really just trying to get rid of the stomach. So I've been bloating a lot, and my stomach is like close to where it was pre-pregnancy, but just not quite. It's a lot looser. I bloat. I know I don't have 3 minutes left on this memory card. When I bloat, it's like worse than usual. I can just tell that I think it's really just that my core is not as strong as it was, which it wasn't that strong to begin with, but it's really not strong now. And as a result, it's not holding in all my stomach and my insides like it used to. So when I get bloated, it's like super bloat. Yo, I was in Virginia. I was at Virginia Beach, and we had went out, drank a little bit, whatever, went to get some pizza. I had like 2 slices of pizza. So I'm stuffed, so I keep like rubbing my stomach. Do you know this man asked me when I was due? And my stomach, like, come on now, like, I'm not delusional. I know my stomach was not that big. But he claimed because I was rubbing my stomach, he just assumed I must have been expecting. But why would you even run the risk of asking something like that? But yeah, so I'm trying to get my stomach together, so I'm gonna try to do that. So I'm working on my diet, which obviously is the most important part when it comes to my stomach. And then I'm gonna work out pretty much every day. So some kind of exercise 3 times a week, like body weight exercises or something. Are you okay? So I'm headed to the grocery store to get my meal prep food. I just wanted to come up here and vent, really, to be honest, because I had the blocks out here. Is that the day? What was it, the day before yesterday? I don't even remember. But I've just been in a horrible mood, and I know it's not. It really has nothing to do. I mean, it has something to do with him, but ultimately, it's really just like me being so unhappy with where my life is right now. Like, and just thinking about how I don't think it really hit me right away how far back this whole situation has set me, but like more and more realizing like I'm really stuck. Like my worst nightmare has always been like from the time pretty much I left high school or maybe college. My worst nightmare has always been like finding myself in a situation that I can't get out of, as far as like, you know, where I live. Like I've obviously been like super flexible because I've been a single woman with no kids for all this time. So I always knew back then, like, if I'm gonna move, I need to go ahead and do it now. Whatever I want to do, wherever I want to go, I need to go ahead and do it, because I don't want to end up like in a relationship, having kids, or even in a job that I'm like afraid to quit because I'm so comfortable there. I didn't want to end up in that situation and not get to and feel like I've missed out on the opportunity to just, you know, live my life freely and do whatever I want to do. So I've had like, you know, those years of doing that. Obviously when I had Zahir, when I was pregnant, the plan was to be a family and, you know, still be able to move freely and do whatever, but as a unit. But since that didn't work out, you know, obviously I'm pretty much doing it on my own. I wasn't financially prepared for that, but also the time when I was not on my own, I was still financially pretty much on my own, despite what someone might believe. And it cost me, like, it really set me back a lot. And I think I kind of like thought about that when I decided to leave Houston, because I know how it is. When you leave these cities right now, the rent is gonna go up. When you leave and come back, the rent is going to be significantly higher than it was. So I knew, just like when I knew when I left LA, I was like, when I leave, I know I want to be like solid on the fact that I want to leave LA when I leave, because I know it's going to be harder to come back. Now granted, when I went to LA I was younger, so I was more open to renting a room from somebody and all that, but you know, once you start living by yourself, it's hard to go back. And then also I have Zahir now, so that's a whole nother consideration. I can't just do anything all willy-nilly, because I have to consider who's going to be around my child and what, you know, living conditions he's going to be under. So a lot of stuff, obviously, that I could do when I was a single woman, I can't do with the child. And so that makes things even harder. I guess when I move back, I'm just thinking in my mind, whatever, you know, I'll have a year to like recoup and get myself together, and then I'll just be back, you know, living, moving wherever I want to be or whatever. I'll just figure it out. But I'm just coming, like, it's approaching a year. It's a year this month that I left Houston and broke my lease and everything, and I'm like nowhere near being able to move anywhere, and it's like really depressing, and it pisses me off when I think back to just how poor of a decision it was to like be with that person, and how it's just really like knocked me back. And then what really like brought this to the forefront for me, was that your water? What really brought this to the forefront for me is that like he keeps flirting with me and saying little stuff, and it just like reminds me like, you were probably doing this while we were together. And I'm just so disgusted by it. And you know, that's all well and fine, but my issue is like dealing with him is really like causing me more, it's like re-traumatizing me almost. It's causing me more mental anguish than I feel is necessary, considering we're not even in the same city. You're not coming to where I am. You have not seen Zahir since he was like 4 months old, and at this rate you won't see him until I don't know when. I think the problem is I keep trying to do the right thing and trying my best to like make it so Zahir sees him on FaceTime and they have a relationship, but the reality is, I don't know, am I really doing it for Zahir or am I doing it for myself? Because a lot of times I just want to have that, you know, it's different to be able to share moments from Zahir's life with his parent, you know, and somebody you think is going to be as excited about every little thing he does. Because, you know, I can show a lot of people, and a lot of people think it's cute and like, oh, blah, 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 but it's not the same as like when it's your child. And I think I was just holding on to that, because the reality is Zahir could care less, to be honest, because he's young. He doesn't really know what's going on. He doesn't know that he doesn't have his dad around. He just knows, this is my mama, this is my grandma, this is my great grandma, this is my grandfather. Like, he knows people that's around, and that it is what it is. Like, he hasn't gotten to the point where he's old enough to realize like, oh, some people have like a mom and a dad at home and all that stuff. So in the grand scheme of things, it's like, does it really matter? And then is it worth it to keep putting forth this effort when, one, he's not really putting forth that much of an effort, and two, it's like tearing me down to have to like the roller coaster of just emotions and having to deal with him. I feel like it's not worth it. I feel like I'm not in a place where I can do it healthily, and I feel like I just need to pull back. If there was an emergency, I can contact him. He knows how to contact me if for whatever reason he feels the need to, but I had to block him from my phone. And like, I don't need you to be able to text me or call me, and I don't need to be able to text or call you. It's honestly like kind of blown the beginning of this week for me. I'm already in a pissy mood. Not to mention, everybody's getting on my nerves. And I know a big part of it is me being in this like sad position where I'm just not happy. But also, I need my own space. And I was doing good for a while, but I'm like, my patience is wearing thin, because I just need my own space. I just need to be able to live, like have days where I don't talk to nobody but Zahir. Like, I don't want to have to deal with people all the time, even if it is my family. I want to be able to sit in my solitude, And that's another thing about having a kid, especially when you're an introvert and you're someone who like needs that time alone. Obviously your kid is going to be around all the time, and that's fine. I'm cool with that. I enjoy my time with Zahir. We have fun. But the fact that you have a kid makes it so you can't just like lock yourself up in a bubble, or like you have to be, because I don't want to like hold him back from socializing with people. So that comes with it, but it's even harder when you don't have your own home, your own space. And it's like you're forced to interact with people when you really don't feel like it, or you're having a bad day, and then you got to hear somebody else complaining about something that you think is just so trivial, and it's like, do you not... Now granted, I'm not a very outwardly emotional person, and people probably think I handle my situations better than I really do. I mean, I think I do pretty good, but I also don't like... You're not gonna catch me just boo-hoo crying. That doesn't mean I'm any less hurt by it. So when people are like talking to me or like asking me about Zahir's dad and stuff, like I'm just thinking, like, does it not cross your mind that this might be something I just don't want to talk about or think about, or that this is probably a pretty traumatic experience for me? And I don't want to have to even tell you that much, because I don't want to talk about it. I also don't want to hear unsolicited opinions and stuff. I don't want to hear you complaining about whatever little stuff people complain about day to day, because I feel like I'm in the worst situation of my life. Now granted, I recognize that I'm still very fortunate to have the support system that I have. That doesn't make it any less harder for me. It really doesn't. It makes me grateful. I've always been grateful, but it doesn't make me feel better about the fact that I feel like I've pretty much blown my life up and I have to start over. And I know before I was saying I'm not starting from scratch, and I'm not, but I've definitely been knocked back. I've been knocked down quite a few notches because of this situation. Which I don't blame anyone but myself, because ultimately these are decisions that I made. But that don't make me any less mad at somebody else, okay? I just take accountability for the fact that this is something I did to myself. You like to think that people are decent, people have good intentions, but you know, some people are just damaged beyond repair. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't keep feeling sorry and, you know, saying that, you know, I'm trying to do what's best for Zahir, when in reality Zahir is good. I'm not good. What do you guys think? Like, have you ever, like, for those of you who are co-parenting, like, how do you determine whether what you're doing is out of just anger and bitterness versus what's best for you and your child? How do you make that determination? Because I think that's what I'm dealing with. But like I said, like, there are ways to contact me if you really wanted to, like, you know, talk to Zahir. He could let me know. I just want to cut off some channels, like those direct channels of contacting me, because it just bothers me, and then I feel not necessarily obligated, but I want to share things about Zahir, but ultimately I feel like me trying to do that is just hurting me in the end. Okay, bless you. So yeah, how do y'all handle that? Anyway, I'm about to go in this grocery store. I'm trying to get in and out, so I'm not gonna vlog in here, and maybe I'll talk to you guys when I come back. I don't know, but yeah, I gotta get my own place. This ain't working. Not to mention, I already told y'all I don't like Maryland. I don't dislike North Carolina, but I just don't see myself staying. Like, I don't want to live there. Another thing is, like, I really want to move back to Houston, but I don't know if that's a good idea, being in the same town as somebody. And then when I was, like, really truly considering it, he quickly changed my mind. I wasn't going to share a lot of this stuff on my channel, but at this point, it's like, I need to be able to vent somewhere. Because talking to, like, I don't want to, like, keep bombarding, really just Kia, with all my rants. Because I understand there's, like, nothing she can really... That's the worst part. Nobody can really, like, give me advice on what to do with my life. They can tell me what they think, but ultimately, y'all know it's a decision I gotta make, and nobody knows the right decision more than I do. And I have no clue. And that's another part that makes it hard, because I just feel like I don't have anybody to talk to that really understands, because nobody around me is in the same or similar situation. Life is shitty right now, to be honest. I just don't like my life right now, and I need to fix it.